likelihood of you're recommending this care provider to others, I'm selecting between these five options. Very poor, poor, fair, good, and very good. It doesn't make any sense. Hey there, Jeff from Guest Insight. Welcome to another episode of Feedback Matters, our podcast, YouTube channel, and blog as well, where we dive into all things related to feedback, customer feedback, guest feedback. Today we're going to do something that we actually haven't done on the podcast or YouTube channel, and that's patient feedback, although we have done it in our practice over the last 25 years. So, as always, this is part of the So You Want My Feedback series, where we go through actual feedback asks from businesses. Most of the content that we've done here is related to hospitality, either hotels or restaurants, but there have been some other businesses, and today we're going to go into a patient feedback request. This is related to my life. I recently went to a new physician, and afterwards I received a request via email to complete a survey. I have not gone through this before. As we always do, we do these live and react based on what we know about asking for feedback and collecting feedback over the course of our 25 years of doing this. So anyway, let's dive into my computer, take a look at my screen, and we can go through this together. Here we go. All right, so I received this email day after I went to this new physician, and we'll go through it. As always, we don't divulge who the business is, in this case, who the physician is, or the group is. It's a group, as most are these days, or any other information relating to personal details or anything like that, because it's really not about the interaction with the business, or in this case, the physician. It's more about how the execution of the feedback ask and collecting of the guest, or in this case, patient feedback is done. So I'll read everything because, again, this is both a video podcast YouTube channel. We broadcast it through YouTube as well as an audio podcast. So it will be only useful to those who are listening by audio if they hear all the text that I'm talking about. So here we go. Subject line: name of the practice. The name of the practice would like your feedback, and it's from no reply at patients dot surveying company, and it's to me. Dear Jeffrey, you recently visited. Name of the practice. We need your feedback. Please take a few minutes to answer a brief survey and share your thoughts about your recent visit. Your input will help us to understand what we do well and what we can do better. If you have received this email regarding a child's visit, please complete the survey on their behalf. To ensure confidentiality, this survey is administered by an independent third party, name of that survey company. Your participation will help us to improve the quality of care that we provide to you, your family, friends, and neighbors. And then there's a big button that says Start Survey, and then below that it says, if clicking the above link does not take you to the survey or a verification screen, please go to name of this. It's a link at the survey companies on their website, and enter the following PIN, and then there's a long PIN number. So that's an alternate way to get into the survey. Thank you for your feedback. Sincerely. And then there's two physicians who sign this email, and they are executive vice president and a senior vice president for the group, the physician group. Then below that, it says, this is an unmonitored email box. Please do not reply to this email. If you have specific questions for your healthcare provider, please contact them directly. And then there's an unsubscribe link at the bottom. So first impressions, pretty good ask. It says, we need your feedback. That's kind of a call of urgency, which is something we typically don't see. It's more, we would appreciate, but we need your feedback. Not sure that we've ever seen it worded quite that way. And there setting an expectation. Please take a few minutes to answer a brief survey and share your thoughts. Okay, so we have that expectation. We'll see how that goes. And then it says, again, your input will help us to understand what we do well and what we can do better. Kind of like that a lot, just so that they're framing it so that they want both the good and the bad. Um, and then if you have received this email regarding a child's visit, please complete the survey on their behalf. Okay, they should know whether it was, and this could have been automated, and that's not necessary. If it was, if I was receiving it on the behalf of a child, they would know that, and they could have their email tailored properly for that, for the appropriate recipient. And then the confidentiality piece is important, especially in medicine because of HIPAA regulations. So that's, I like that. And then they have the start survey button, and then they have the link if that fails, which is fine. So let's see where we go. We'll click the start survey button and see what happens. Okay, we get to a validation screen, I think. I think that's what this is. So there's the logo of the physicians group up top. Again, we're not going to disclose who it is. And that to ensure privacy, please enter, and it says Jeffrey's date of birth to access the survey. So this is a validation, but they sent it to me, so why doesn't it say your date of birth? So that's something that they could have handled better within their system, depending on the recipient, whether it's directly to the patient or to the patient's parent or guardian. But I will now enter my date of birth. So interestingly, there is a date picker there, so that they do show you the format of the date. So and it starts with today's date. And this date picker is not really useful when you're entering a date, especially someone my age, because I have to go way back in time. But let's see how this works. So if I click this, it's going to go back a year. If I go back, so that goes back a day. So it's 1 day or 1 year. So I guess I could click this a bunch of times. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I would have to click this many times to get there. So I'm not going to do it that way, but this is a bit of a pain. So this could have been handled better, but I'm going to enter it. I'm not going to show you what my birthday is. So, okay, I've entered it, and I can type it in, so I don't have to use the date picker, which is good. All right, so now there's another letter signed by the same two people who signed that email. Dear, says my name. Our mission at name of the practice is to provide our patients with the highest quality health care that we can. To accomplish this, we need to know what we are doing right and what needs improvement. We depend on our patients and their families to keep us informed. By sharing your thoughts and feelings about your healthcare experience on the date with specific doctor, you can help make our care better for future patients and their families. Please take a few minutes to complete the following patient satisfaction survey. Feel free to express your opinions. Your response is confidential. Thank you, and please accept our best wishes for your good health. And again, we have to click the button to start the survey at the bottom. A little redundant here. Again, don't know that I love this bit here. We need to know what we are doing right and what needs improvement. That's true. And then it says we depend on our patients and their families to keep us informed. I wish they were at the bottom. They do say, please take a few minutes to complete the following patient satisfaction survey, but it's not really a request that's formatted in a very guest or patient friendly way. I think this could have been worded better. I appreciate what they're trying to do, but they could have done better with how it was worded. Anyway, there's again redundancy here, so it's going to take longer than I'm guessing that expectation that they set on the email in the email where it said brief survey. So we haven't started the survey yet, but we've done a few things. Let's keep going. Okay. Name of the practice, Then it says medical practice survey. Instructions. Please rate the services you received from our practice. Select the response that best describes your experience. If a question does not apply to you, please skip to the next question. Space is provided for you to comment on good or bad things that may have happened to you. If you can't complete the entire survey at once, you may come back to it later. Your previous responses will be saved automatically, and you will be able to continue where you left off. At any point during the survey, you can clear the entire survey and start over by clicking the Clear Survey button. When you've finished, please click the Submit button. And then again, it reminds you, well, please rate your visit on date of the appointment for your visit with and the name of the doctor. Click. Before I click the Continue, I do want to say that two things. One, this has been framed as a brief survey. Very wordy instructions, some repetition. I appreciate that they're telling me that I can come back to it later if I don't finish. I don't really love the idea that I can clear the entire survey and start over by clicking the Clear Survey button. I'm not really sure why it's important for them to state that to me or why that functionality is actually needed. But we're going to just let that go and continue. Okay, here's the first survey screen. It's titled Access, and there is a progress bar up here, which is if it functions properly, it's good. If it does not function properly, it's not good. But we'll see how that goes. So this is titled Access, this screen. Ease of scheduling your appointment, for example, by phone, online, etc. So these are all 5-point scales. Do like those 5-point scales. We've talked about that before in other episodes, so we're happy about that. Let's see the labels that are attached to the 5 rating scale points. So 1 is very poor, 2 is poor, 3 is fair, 4 is good, and 5 is very good. Don't love this. I'll be honest. I don't think that this is a very balanced scale in terms of how the labels describe each point. I'm assuming that at some point someone's going to do some math and mathematical analysis on this, and there are going to be statistics provided, and they're going to most likely, again, I don't know this for sure, they're just going to look at numbers. And when we compare, to keep this very simple, if I compare the two polar opposites of this, the two endpoints of this scale, 1 being very poor and 5 being very good, I think very poor is much worse than very good is good. I think very poor should be balanced with something like excellent, maybe. Similarly, if you look at the next two on each, going from the ends, poor is 2 and good is 4, or I should say the other way around. 2 is labeled poor and 4 is labeled good. Again, I don't think that's balanced. Fair, I guess, is fair is the label for 3. I think that's okay. But the balance of the scale, especially if it's going to be interpreted with mathematical analysis and not weighted in some way to account for the mismatch in the balance of the labels, is problematic. Anyway, let's move on. So we'll go through all the attributes for access. Ease of scheduling your appointment. It was super easy. I did it through the website, super easy. So is it very good or is it excellent? Again, that's the best I can do here, right? Ease of contacting. For example, email, phone, online portal to practice. That's also very good. Ease of checking in using the self-service tablets located near the front desk. I didn't use them. Someone actually welcomed me when I walked in, and I didn't have to do that. So I'm going to leave that out. I think that's what the instructions told me to do. We'll see if that works. If you contacted us through the online portal, please rate our promptness in responding. I didn't. It was just the scheduling, so I don't have to fill that out. if your care provider ordered tests, extent to which you were informed about your test results. Um, I think that's very good. I mean, the results showed up in my online portal. Um, and comments. As far as comments regarding access, I'll type something in. Okay, let's move on. Page 2. All right, so page 1 indicated, page 1 seems to have accounted for 13% according to this progress bar. So if I do my math right, there's going to be 7 plus screens if it's going by screens, or if they're counting the number of attributes we're rating. I'm not sure, but we'll see how this goes as it continues. This screen is titled Moving Through Your Visit, and these attributes, again, using that same 5-point scale with the same, what I consider flawed labeling. Here are the 3 attributes. Courtesy of staff in the registration area. Very good. They're better than very good, but that's all I got. Degree to which you were informed about any delays, if applicable. No delays, not applicable. Wait time of the practice from arriving to leaving was very good. I mean, I know what they mean. I think most people would, but those labels are not really all that appropriate for this. The wait time was very good. Yeah, I guess so. Um, I don't think I need to provide any comments here. One other thing, I can go back as they told me I can, and my answers are still there. And I can clear the survey. Again, I don't know why this is necessary. I just don't know. I'm not understanding why they need this to be on every page of the survey or at all. Anyway, let's move on. So that's our second survey screen. So now we're at 25%. So that one was only 12% instead of 13 for more attributes from the first page. Okay. This one is titled Nurse slash Assistant. So these are the attributes, same 5-point scale. How well the nurse slash assistant listened to you. Very good. Concern the nurse slash assistant showed for your problem. We didn't have a problem. It was a general visit. So I'm going to leave that out. Friendliness slash courtesy of the nurse slash assistant. Very good. Yeah, I'm not going to provide comments here. The overall experience was good, and I'll summarize that at the end. Same forward and back button, same clear survey button. Let's move on. We're now at 38%, so that one was worth 13% again, that one. Care provider. During your visit, your care was provided primarily by a doctor, physician assistant, nurse practitioner, or midwife. Please answer the following questions with that healthcare provider in mind. Okay. Concern the care provider showed for your questions or worries. Very good. Explanations the care provider gave you about your problem or condition. Um, Again, we're using the same 5-point scale with the label, flawed labels, I believe. My problem or yeah, I'll rate this as very good. This is an excellent visit, excellent provider. The entire experience was as pleasant as I can recall at a physician's office in the recent past. Care providers' efforts to include you in decisions about your care, to the extent that that happened, was very good. Care providers' discussion of any proposed treatment, options, risks, benefits, etc. Very good. Likelihood of your recommending this care provider to others. I mean, all right, 2 things here. So it brings to mind something that we've talked about lots before, which is the net promoter score question. How likely are you to recommend this business, hotel, restaurant, whatever we're talking about? It's ubiquitous at this point. So here there's a version of it They're using a 5 point scale, which I like a lot better than an 11 point scale that Net Promoter Score uses. But it does highlight something that we believe in. So, we're using the same 5 point scale with those same five labels attached to them. They don't belong here. I mean, this does not make any sense. Likelihood of you're recommending this care provider to others. I'm selecting between these five options: very poor, poor, fair, good, and very good. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I understand, and most people will, that if you choose five, it's the most likely you are to recommend this care provider, and one is the least likely. But this is just poorly done. I'm sorry, this is just poorly done. And as we have always said, we believe that this is not a likelihood question. Recommendation, again, my visit is over, and it's based on this visit. I mean, I'm filling everything else out about this visit. They're asking me about this visit, how everything went from the scheduling to the care to the assistant's care, the physician's care, and now they're asking me, would I recommend this person? Uh, it's either yes or no for me. There's not a likelihood here. It's either a yes or a no. And so, forget the mismatch of the labeling here. It's just the whole concept of recommendation and likelihood in an after visit survey does not make sense. Anyway, my only choice here is I would recommend this person, so I have to choose very good. Same things below. I can go back, I can go forward, I can clear the survey. We're going to move on. So now we're at 50%. Would I call this a brief survey? I certainly would not. So I would hope that they would do a better job of framing my expectations as to how long this would take. Don't call it a brief survey if it's going to take me 10 plus minutes. Could I get through this in 10 minutes or in 7 minutes? Yeah, but it would be tough. Certainly, we're not doing it here as I explain all the pages to you. Okay. Anyway, personal issues is the heading on this screen. Our concern for your privacy. Same 5 point scale. It's standard I would say in professional doctors' offices these days. Uh, it was very good. How well the staff protected your safety by washing hands, wearing ID, etc. I didn't see them wash their hands. I wearing ID. They did wear ID. Very good. I didn't see any issues. No red flags were raised for me. Cleanliness of our practice seemed very clean to me. Comments. I don't think that's necessary here. Same options. Go forward, go back, clear the survey. We're going forward. We're now at 63% done, and yet we're now talking about overall assessment on this screen. How well the staff work together to care for you, and it's our same 5 point scale with the same labels. Um, Very good. Handling of insurance billing questions, if applicable. It did not pertain to this. It was handled through the portal, and it was handled very well. There was one question. I'll give them very good for that. Overall, how satisfied are you with the ease of use of our online portal, if applicable? Very good. Likelihood of recommending our practice to others. Okay, I'm not going to rant anymore on this. Again, the labels don't make any sense with relation to this. Um, if I had a great experience, why would it be anything other than yes? Like what would soften or lessen my likelihood of changing it from a yes to something less than yes? I promised not to rant, and yet I did again. Sorry. Um, I would recommend that. Same options at the bottom. Let's move forward. We're now at 75% done. Please identify any staff member or department that impressed you. And then these are open-ended text boxes to fill in. So I'm typing free-form comments. And then the second one is, if you could change one thing about your experience with our medical practice, what would that be? So I will fill these out real quickly. I would not change anything about my experience with the medical practice. So we'll move on. Same options at the bottom. I could go back, I could clear the survey, or move forward. Okay. Wow. So now we're at 88%. And now they're asking for my name, and it's optional, and my telephone, and that's also optional. I don't even know how to properly express my displeasure with this. They validated they say they, to protect my privacy, to start this survey, I had entered my birth date. So they know who I am. And now they're asking me for my name and my telephone number, which they, of course, also have, because all that information was submitted in the portal, um, when I set up the appointment or when I first started going to this practice. This is mind-boggling. Sorry. I could clear the survey. Again, I can review my answers, or I could submit it now. I'm certainly not going to waste my time giving them something they already have. So let's move on. And hopefully, and thankfully, it now says your survey has been submitted successfully. Thank you for taking the survey. So they're thanking me for taking the survey now, which I like. But, and that's it. So I don't know. Anyway, thank you for tuning in today, watching, listening, and bearing with my rant about a few things here. This has been another episode of Feedback Matters, part of the Guest Insight YouTube channel.